Alrighty, what is cracking up? Let's see. Let's see. I started quiet because it won't catch anything that I say the first 5 seconds or so. So mandatory first comment. Can you all hear me? Second of all, I'm gonna say it. King Taco in LA. I don't see the point. I'm sorry if you're from LA and you think that King Taco is the best spot. Gallo Hiro. Gallo Hiro is a place to be, man. They have good waters and they have good food. Um, I don't expect a lot of you to join me. Today's Saturday, and you know, you guys have more important things to do than to listen to some whack ass dude talk about cars and life and anything. Terroso Elano says, "What's up, profe? What's crackalacking? How are you? Hope everything's okay in Texas. Um, I'm assuming you had to work, right? Someone." Hugo Vega says, "Yeah, you can hear me. I appreciate it, Hugo. Thank you, thank you, thank you." Medardo Hernandez says, "What up, yo? What up, Medardo? Thank you so much for tuning in for 2 seconds, man. I appreciate you, and I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday, Medardo. King Taco, ¿tú qué sabes de King Taco? You're in Texas. They don't have nothing like that. They don't have anything good in Texas. Um, Authentic Mexican food. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, I'm talking shit already. No, I don't know. I think Texas is known for what? Their barbecue, no? But there's always that constant battle of does LA have all the best foods? And yeah, they have the best foods. I'm not gonna deny that, but I don't know. I don't get the whole idea. King Taco is like this little chain of tacos in LA, and everybody goes crazy for them. I just don't see it. I don't think that the food is that great. Um, but maybe when you're hungover at 2 in the morning in East LA, you're like, let's go to King Taco. Maybe. Purple Turtle B20 BP8R. Thank you. Appreciate it. What's up? Ahorita puro jale. Damn. Trabajen los casados. So before we start, now that you guys can hear me, I'll be sharing my screen. Just again, um, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. They switched up the settings here on this thing. There you go. I think I got this. There you go. I think I got this. First channel that I want you guys to just kind of be aware of is called another FNCRX vlog. Like I said, I came to find out about this channel very, very recent. I'm really enjoying their videos. A lot of Civic EF stuff by Nate and Leo, and pretty cool stuff. I mean, they did a road trip all the way from Washington to Cali, in the wagon. And I watched this last night, and they just went off roading. They didn't really have a time limit as to when to get home, and I think that those are the best memories. So. Nate and Leo, now they have his buddy, I think Isaias or something like that. Now has a red wagon, some cool stuff. Hopefully, Nate's car starts coming clutch, and we can see it on the road. The second YouTube channel, I want you guys to show some love, or at least take a look at it. It's easy, still, you dig in. Um, our buddy Easy, man, his car was nice to begin with, but then he did the stupid thing of adding more stuff, which is always a great thing. But no, there was a malfunction with one of the cam bolts. I can't remember exactly what was the malfunction, but long story short, a bolt ended up backing out, and I think he ended up bending some valves. Um, Honestly, think something that he didn't really have control over. It happens. They backed out, and so then he did really something stupid, which is taking the whole thing apart and completely redoing it. And the reason I say stupid is because I can do it, and he's definitely going above and beyond and getting this car back in one piece. It's pretty crazy, but now overall he's doing an amazing job. He's scheme color that he's going with things. You guys may not love it, but that's what he wants and that's what he's going with, and he's redoing the whole entire thing. He obviously already power corded the piping, the throttle body, intake manifold, the turbo itself. He's gonna redo his engine bay because he's like, might as well. The engine's out, so he wasn't happy with that. So he's gonna redo his engine bay, and then he'll give us a little teaser on the wheels and the caliper setup that he went with. And again, it might not be your cup of tea color wise, but that's what he's going with. And I like the fact that he's sticking with his stuff, and knowing him, if he doesn't like it, he'll switch it up in a month or 2 months from now. But he does that, you know. So the car will be on jack stands for a little bit longer, just because he is gonna put in the work on the engine bay. And I personally think it looked nice, but obviously he has higher standards for himself and better quality craftsmanship, or has skills, period. And so that's what he'll be working on that. And this is where he shows us a little bit of the wheel and caliper mix that he got going on. So it should be excited. For now, enjoy the cleanliness of those calipers, but they're gonna get really dirty really fast. And then the third channel I want you guys to be aware of, the lowrider culture. This is my brother's channel. But yeah, it might be that I'm a little biased, but I just kind of want to show some love. 935 subscribers. I mean, he's so close to 1,000. If you guys can show some love, that'd be great. If you guys are not interested in lowriders, no worries. But in essence, is that interviews, stories behind it, and lowriders go above and beyond. Not to say anything negative about the import world, but these dudes engrave everything. The lower control arms. I mean, they chrome things that no one's ever gonna see, and they know that it's chrome. They know that it's been retouched. I mean, it's quite interesting the amount of work that they go into building these cars, and the fact that they built these cars for a third time, or this is a third build, etc., etc. It's pretty amazing. So, like I said, awesome cars, to be honest with you, and even amazing stories and amazing people. You know, as always, it's a very vulnerable spot to be in, to share your story, to share your build, and to share the challenges that you faced throughout the time of building that car. But ultimately, they're putting themselves in the situation of educating others and motivating others. And so we thank you guys for that, and we thank the lowrider culture for putting these stories. Like I said, 935 subscribers. I know some of you guys have already subscribed, and I really appreciate you guys. But anyway, we can send some love towards that channel. It would be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much kind of the three channels that I want to show you guys some love. Big shout out to the homie We Have Shut Up, Brandon. He got a cover on Motor Train channel. Super Street shot his car. Honda tuning. I mean, the guy really deserves everything that he's been getting, and we really, really appreciate the love and the support that he's done for us, and as an automotive anatomy channel. Purple Turtle, what's up from Greensboro, North Carolina? That's crazy. I didn't know you were out there. Um, that's dope, man. That's dope. Final Four and a live stream. I'm hungry now. Go UCLA or something like that. I haven't been putting up with the NCAA tournament. I know it's pretty intense. It gets really intense, especially in the earlier rounds when you have some underdogs defeat some big teams. But I don't really do brackets or anything like that. I was in Vegas the first week of the tournament, but everybody was super excited. But I didn't do anything, with the brackets and all that nature. But I really don't have a team, I guess, for basketball. In general, NBA and college, and I think part of it is because the new NBA, it's just different. It's obviously the idea is to score more points and to win the game, right? And so I like the old school way of playing, where the center was a center. You used it. It was much slower game. Players stay with the team for the long run. It wasn't like, let's create these super teams. And that might just me being a old man, back in my day. But that's just the NBA that I like, and that's what it is. I like the Allen Iversons, the Paul Pierces. I like the Golden State Warriors back when they were nobody. Why? Because Baron Davis was a point guard. And for those that may not know who Baron Davis is, a sick ass player. I mean, he never really went, super super famous, but I absolutely love the handles that he had, and he made some amazing passes. And that was Kobe Bryant was always there, but Baron Davis was one of my favorite players. That was quote unquote not super known. Gene, hey guys, question for you, Gene. When is the CRX getting painted? What's going on with that project? Because I know that you've been working on your your son's old coupe. but we haven't seen any update on the CRX. I know you mentioned it's going to be painted. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be painted white, right? Let me know. Leo and Nate, yeah, man, super cool dudes, man. They're pretty awesome channel. Definitely recommend it. They can't drive a Camaro. They're the guy that can't drive a Camaro. Who's the guy that can't drive a Camaro? EF stuff is always cool and negative. Yeah, as you guys can see, yeah, Funkmaster Sleek, another EF and CRX is a good channel. It really is. It's pretty cool. Those are just kind of like their first spirits. The way I would describe them, they just go about their way. Um, there's no. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like it's just so relaxing to watch them. Like they're not in a rush. They're just building. They're going and enjoying their things. They're enjoying the car meets. They're enjoying EFs, and I think that's the way it should be. Especially they look very very young, um, and so it's cool to have a youngster feel that way. You know, most of the time youngsters are moving fast and they're constantly okay. What's next? And the fact that he's not, they're not. I like that, and the fact that they're young and they're messing with the 80s, 90s Civics. It's pretty dope. Anime Freak says sup. Sup. I think I know who you are. Sup. Anthony Pedregon. EFs up. Okay, what's up with you, EFs? All of you. Gross. I know. Thank you, someone. Thank you. Thank you. Down with moods. Oh man. No. Why is the screen black? Is the screen black for everybody else? I hope not. Sorry, man. Sorry. Yeah, man. I mean, thank you, Gene. Woohoo, Brandon. So Brandon is the guy with the 600, and I think he lied on the horsepower. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Nah, I think he's making more than 600, by the way. But no, amazing job by Brandon. I mean, one thing that it's you see it when you see a car being shoot for super street or Honda tuning or is presented like in the Hoonigans or Jay Leno's garage. It's sometimes a lot of shops that had their hands on them, and not to say that that's bad by any means. I mean, obviously, you guys know, FM Spec built, the engine and everything on Jackie, but it's very rare when you have somebody who built the entire car on their driveway in the garage with a family with bills and build, and it's pretty quite amazing what he's done, and the level of entrepreneur on top of that who he is, um, major smack talker, but that's his personality and that's pretty cool. Um, that's why I feel like that dude deserves so much love, because he did build it, from his garage. And I think it's, in one of the interviews with S2000 we mentioned, we said that little guys, I mean, in reality we're not the little guys, we're the majority, but social media has it that we're the little guys because we're not spending $10,000 on a paint job, right? um, or we don't have all these different collaborations with different um, companies that can build a 3-month car. And SEMA is the perfect example of that. These ridiculous builds, which are amazing, but they're really ridiculous in the sense of the budget, because there was no budget, sometimes. Um, and yeah, those cars will get covered. I mean, shit, like it's difficult not to see that. And I know that a lot of people are building cars for the SEMA show because of the advertisement that they're gonna get from it. And obviously that's the whole point of it. So I'm not hating on that. But very rarely do you see somebody who builds it with his own two hands in his driveway, and on top of that remains very humble. And what I mean by that, um, there's people that build cars, out of their driveways, and they get a little bit of media coverage, and all of a sudden, you know, it's difficult to even hit them up on Instagram. And Brandon has not been that. Brandon responds to comments, responds to questions. Um, he might be a smartass about it, but he does respond and he's there. And so that, major respect to him. And honestly, it sounds stupid, but a big shout out to the EF community, for the fact that you guys have somebody like him putting it down for the EF. it definitely it's a good thing, um, we've had a few accord dudes make it into, shoots and things of that nature, but um, not not to the level of build that you know Brandon did. And much respect, man. And congratulations. I know it's not your cars and it's not your EFs, but I think it's congratulations to the old school Honda in general, to be able to have a dude like that be given the spotlight for a little bit. Hopefully soon doing the engine now. Yeah. So as you guys know, Gene is working on his CRX, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I know it's gonna be B series, right? I think you're gonna get the same motor, B16, I think you had, or B18. Staying NA, if I'm not mistaken. And his cage is gorgeous, and I think um, that's pretty crazy to be able to see the process on that, Gene. So I really appreciate you for always giving us an update and for just tuning in, just being such a great human being, man. I really appreciate you. Low key kindergarten crush over here, Anthony Pedregon. Who's your kindergarten crush? Um, RLA82 says, when are you going to work on the red Accord again? That's actually a pretty good question. And the answer is tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be busy swapping on the suspension that Jackie currently has. And I did receive my Fortune Auto coilovers 3 days ago, and I barely got around to opening them today. I'm like, I should probably open them. What if it's for the wrong car? They seem to be for the right car. So we'll be swapping the Fortune Autos into Jackie's current suspension, which is pretty beat up, into the daily. And I think it should be fine, long as I don't go stupid low on Rosie on the red car. And I won't. I really I'm enjoying her so much, how comfortable it is. So I think I'm just gonna kill the gap space. I don't even care for the tucking of the tire, none of that. I just want to be able to make her look a little bit nicer. And I feel like just lowering 3 inches up front, maybe 2.5 in the rear, that should give me the look that I'm looking for. And roll on the stock wheels for a little bit. Like I said, she's extremely comfortable. I don't really don't want to mess with that too much. But yes, I also need to paint the valve cover and do some other stuff that that I need to get around to. Daniel Martinez says, I have an EF hatch. Congratulations. But EF hatches suck. Preludes are the best. And then you had to say that. Nope. You know what? I'll take an EF before I take a prelude. Agua de mamey. Como ustedes par de mameyes que son. Nah, man. I like the fact that we all like our different cars, because imagine if we all like the same damn car, it would be pretty boring. I think that's pretty cool. Scratching head. I don't know why you're scratching your head, Danny. Danny Martinez, where you at the end of the year Honda meet? That's interesting. I think that I don't remember where that one was at. I don't think I was. I think I got sick during that time. I think that's what it was. I think I got sick, and so I didn't go. Um, let's see what our friend Purple Turtle said. I stopped paying attention to the SEMA stuff and stick with the street level stuff. I appreciate the struggle more than the stacks of cash spent. Yeah, man, and I think that that's a great point. Part of it is, what are you looking for, and who is the demographic that you're trying to hit, right? I think it's SEMA provides an opportunity of so much exposure, but it's become that uh it's just so competitive that I don't know how SEMA started. I don't know what the message or what the mission of SEMA was at the beginning, but now it's not something that I personally really look forward to attend. Would I attend it? Yes. But not necessarily to get the views, not necessarily to say, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this." Um, I think it would be just to say I experienced it, and then that's it. I did get the opportunity to go 2 years ago, um, but due to some timing, I wasn't able to go, and it looked like a good time. It looked like the people that I was gonna go with, they had a lot of fun, and from that aspect, I do look forward to SEMA, to be able to hang out with some people and be able to experience it. Then I started seeing some of the builds from the coverage from everybody, and it's just it's just not my cup of tea. Let's put it that way. Even some Honda builds, even some extreme Honda builds that were there that were extremely clean. Um, I feel like sadly it's a popularity contest, and some cars that should get more recognition were not getting recognition, but it's because of who you know and what you do and things of that nature. And but that's how it goes everywhere, right? Like that's what it is, and that's what you expect at a SEMA show. And so that's not knocking on anybody that has done a lot of stuff throughout their career, and now they show up, and people are interested into what they have to present. But for me, I look at some of these. Let's go with trucks, turbos, bags. I mean, it's expensive money. It's heavy money. The paint job is immaculate. I mean, it's expensive money. But then you see somebody like Checker Sports or friend Raul from Nevada, and he literally built that EG, with his bare hands at his shop. The only thing that he outsourced was um, the paint and wiring harness from ride wire and certain things like that. But other than that, he built the car himself. He chopped that car up. He fabricated not only the cage, but honestly the underbody of the car again. He didn't get as much exposure as I think he deserved. Um, Sure, he gets pictures, nice pictures, from like Sticky Joe or um, Super Street Honda tuning, and that's about it in my personal opinion. And that was after I had a conversation with him, like, well, did things work out? Did it start rolling the ball rolling? Did other people hit you up for collaboration? He was like, no. I mean, it was cool for that minute, and I was proud of what I had done, but to say that kind of build up on this and that and it's transpiring to now I'm gonna be working on some huge builds. It didn't, and so to me that's disappointing because that dude freaking knows his way around a welding, um the welding craftsmanship, but he also doesn't have a big brand name, and I know that comes with um, product and a little bit of celebrityness and popularity and things of that nature. And so, SEMA is great for exposure because that's everybody who's in the automotive world makes it out there, especially here in the States. Obviously, we know that YouTube channels are now like that's their main goal to it's a 5 day 4 day event. They go and they get as much film and they want to collab with different YouTubers. And it's just to grow. Everybody's trying to grow, and that's fine. Um, but I think me on a personal level, being around that environment, I would really just want to stick to myself. I would look at some cars, and after the second day, if that, I'll be over it. I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to go home. And again, maybe because I'm looking at it through other lenses, not necessarily a business point of view. If you're looking at it from a business point of view, then yes, like 5 days is not enough to be able to collaborate with people that you want to. But I just, I feel like there's a lot of people that have been building awesome cars. Um, with their bare hands, and they just will not get the best recognition, um, and that's fine. I guess that's society, that's celebrityness, that's social media, that's what writes a business, and there's nothing wrong with that if you're looking at it from a business point of view. But from my end, the way I've always approached things, even when I've gone to car meets, even before the channel, my my mission has always been to look at the cars that not necessarily are pristine, but the ones that are like they're beat up, but somebody takes so much pride in the work that they do. Like we all have different budgets, and I've always been like that. I've never been ones to knock off on rep wheels. Um, would I go as far to say that rep wheels will look better than authentic wheels? I think you can knock out the fitment nicely, but I think we both know that authentic wheels will always look better, and obviously the manufacturing part of it, the creation of it, should be better. You know, um, But then again, if we don't have the same quote unquote deep pockets, it's okay for me. For me, again, it's okay if you're rolling around, rep wheels, because I did that, and I took a lot of pride, and I legit loved it, um, and I feel like that's something that we're missing in the car community, especially everyday people, that we're so quick to badge on others because of what they're, the wheels that they have, the stickers that they have on their cars, or whatever they choose to do with their cars. Seems like, oh, if I have more expensive parts, then that gives me the right to talk smack. And it's kind of disappointing, but that's sadly what we have going on. And I feel like, you know what, you're not going to change that. That's for a fact, you're not going to change that, but I think we can do our part to be able to show that there are a lot of people who are going to be positive and supportive of the build that you're trying to do. I definitely appreciate the support for the community SEMA provides, but the show itself is just a popularity show, and you see the same trends. And I think the same trends. I've seen a lot of trucks with bags and turbos. Like, and it's expensive money. Don't get me wrong, but um, again, if you're looking from a business point of view, like that's the perfect spot to be. Like, you cannot beat it. But if you're trying to look at it from like craftsmanship, small build type of feeling, vibe, that's not, and that's the reason why I guess I'm not so huge on it. It's funny you guys mentioned like the whole, like you said, Anthony. If you look at it as a car show, um, I've never been a big fan of those type of car shows with the loud music, and everybody indoors, and nothing against bags or tilted wheels, and I love that, but I've never been a big fan of like the Week Fest. The what was the other one? There's been a couple of shows, not meets, shows. It is not that they're doing anything wrong. I think that they do an amazing job, and amazing cars show up, and that's cool. That's not my style. I don't like to go to a place like that with loud music, and you know uh, I just, and some of you guys love it. Some of you guys absolutely love it, and that's great. But that's always been my thing, and social media rewards those that like those stuff, and I think that's the purpose. That's the reason why purposely I'm going against it. I don't go to those meets because I know that I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in it, and um, I can't see myself being in the same room for 6, 7 hours. Like, I just can't do that, man. Even if I had Jackie there, I just couldn't do it. Um, but that's what gets views. That's what gets likes. That's what gets the attention of others, and that's fine. But the likelihood of you guys seeing those type of meets on my channel, very unlikely. If it does happen, just know that it's because a friend of mine, really wanted to go, and I just want to, show love and support, but not necessarily that's something that I'm like, can't wait for the next one type of thing. But we all have different styles, and maybe you guys enjoy that. That's perfectly fine. Go find a channel that allows you to see that, and it benefits you. Arietis Eterna, do you think the 8th gen, 9th gen will be considered classic in the future, the way we see the CRX era, EM1 era, Integra era? Will FG2, FA5 go up in value in the new kits later? What about 9th gens? Okay, so there's a lot of questions. They're all good questions. Honestly, the 8th gen and 9th gen, in my personal opinion, will never have the same classic love to the CRX and the EM1, and even the Integra. And just simply for the fact that they're 80s and 90s, simply for the fact that their design is different. Uh, Simply in the fact that, um, not saying that 8th gen is not a great car. I think the 8th gen is the last SI from what I've gathered, and from what I've heard. Will it go up in value? Yes. Like you said, new kits later. Yes, it's already going up in value. The SI model trim. 9th gen, I don't know. I think it's still very new. The 8th gen SI, especially with the K series motor, yes, those are going to go in value. They have been going in value. And I think that one will become a little bit more like a EM1, like you mentioned, where damn, you find one with low miles and it's been well taken care of. Like you're gonna jump on it, you're gonna be able to pay more. But to see it as a EM1 TRX Integra, like that type of um, now, I don't know if the word emotional feeling or attachment to it. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the CRX even now, like we're looking at them and they're in their own little league. The EFs, they're in their own little league. The EAs, their own little leagues. Anything 80s, I think anything below 95. People are really appreciating them a lot more than they were before. Um, and the EM1 just because it's a great car. And I think what happened with the EM1s, they shut up in prices because people started and bring a trailer selling them a lot more. The Integra Type R, obviously as well. But the CRX is like the hidden secret where for a long time, nobody cared about them, and then now they started shooting up in prices, um, because other people started, swapping B16s and things of that nature, or just restoring them to their liking. And now we woke up one day and we realized, like, oh shoot, there's no more of those. It's very hard to find them. Parts are, getting harder to find, and the design, the design of them, it's you can't beat it. Like they say the 90s is the golden era, and I agree. But I think some late 80s designs, it's pretty rad, man. Like that's never gonna come back. At least I say that right now because I feel like everybody's going more aerodynamic, and so a boxy look it just doesn't work, especially since we're transitioning to electric stuff. It's that's kind of where the world is moving, but you know, old school. From Canada will tell you um, that he will never buy a car over the year 2001 2002. I think those are the people like him that are really really holding on to the 80s and 90s. They are really trying to show that that was the golden era, and we should be able to find them and try to maintain them on the road and keep them super clean. But um, the night gen, I don't know if the night gen will be considered a classic, especially with it went turbo, and I mean maybe in 25 years, maybe yes. But as of now, I think it's way too early. The eighth gen, yes, it will be considered as one of the. It's already considered the last real SI, as they like to call it, and they will go up in value. So I think it's a good car to buy. Um, but no, man, something about the CRX, the EM1s, and Integras. It just those I think it holds a very special place in a lot of people's hearts, and I think part of it was the Fast and the Furious. It was the Fast and Furious, and on top of that, that's what we all grew up financially, the hand-me-downs. And so for that reason, I think that creates a lot of nostalgia. Something that the agents, maybe it does for someone who's younger, but I think most of the older heads really think back, when they were younger and they think about the 80s and 90s and they're like, damn, like, and even myself, I'm 29, but um, I can't even imagine uh, putting a CRX, in the same line of 8th gen. I think that they're two different complete animals, and they're both great in their own ways, but I feel like the old school tradition is like, damn, dude, like you can't beat it. Like you cannot beat and that's just Hondas. I mean, we're talking about even Mustangs, the Fox body. Like that thing looks so rad, and I think a lot of people at first were like, either you love it or you hate it, but it's there. The C10s, the Chevy C10s, I mean, those are just so rad. And some new trucks nowadays are amazing in other ways, but you cannot take away from the C10s. And each generation had a nice, gorgeous design to them. The Impalas, here we go. It's like you got the Regals, people love them and shit, but it's not nothing compared to the Impalas and the cloud that went over those. And a lot of people, may hear songs about the 64 Impala, but in reality the 50, 57, 58, 59, those are the ones that are more pricey, and it just depends. But to answer your question, in my personal opinion, I think and obviously I would love to hear what the comments, people that are tuning in right now, what they feel, because again, my opinion is not 1,000% right, and I might be completely wrong. Maybe tomorrow the HM become the hottest commodity, and everybody's like, whoa, that's just the greatest car that has been lost. But in my opinion, 8th Gen SI, yes, it will go up in value because I think it's quote unquote the last SI with the K series. And no, I think the CRX, um, all the way to the Integra, will have its own little personality of 90s, the golden era, and that's why it's called the golden era. Because I don't think it'll be very difficult to find other cars that come close to it. But you never know. I might be wrong. What up, Rob? Hope California. I hope Canada's treating you well. You have Hatches, Daniel Martinez, XXR's reps. Yeah, man, that's how I started. I started with the XXR's 006 Supermax or some Super Sports, some Supermax. They were black and they were cool. They did the job. They never cracked actually, and I've cracked some other quote unquote real wheels. So yeah, go figure, But it was a great wheel, and for the fact that I was working at a fast food and that I saved some money for quite a bit, I was extremely happy, man. I was young, and at the time, that's all I could afford, and I'm sure a lot of people made fun of me, but I don't really pay too much attention to that. I was happy with what I was quote unquote building, and that to me mattered more than somebody's opinion. And I think that's the reason why I always went out of my way to make sure that I always said something positive about everybody's built, even if they're not as nice or the pin is not there or whatever the case may be. Like I told you guys, the videos that I've been able to create from you guys, the builders, the builds are amazing, right? But it doesn't mean that just because I'm showing that I don't like other cars are quote unquote in the process of getting built. It's just I think it's cool to see people that have built a car into such pristine or close to pristine condition motivate others, just the way they've done to me and for me. And so that's the reason why I do that. Don't go broke just trying to impress the others. Just do you and be happy. I think I'm just gonna take a guess. Mind, body, soul. 209. I'm gonna say that you're a little bit older, or you've done some stupidity in your life and now you learn, because they say to be old and wise you need to be young and stupid, and I think that's um, some people don't understand that, to not but I think you also have to put yourself in a situation where you surround yourself with positive people, not necessarily that they agree with you 1,000%, but they motivate you. And definitely I never put a car part over priorities ever, and I will never do that. And to this day, I mean, I could, go buy a few things, a few toys, a few parts, and still have, be comfortable financially. But it's just, it's you have to have a nice little balance, in my opinion. And I think, going back to the SEMA and going back to those Week Fest shows, going back to all these different type of events, people are balling out right now. People are balling out because they can't wait. Like they had a whole year of nothing going on, and now they're gonna go and spend X amount of dollars on their builds. And I like to believe that most of them are doing it because they really want to show craftsmanship and just have a good time, and they're doing it for themselves. But I think sometimes it's really easy to see that some people do it just more for the clout, and once they don't receive that level of following or clout or whatever you want to call it, you see them step away from it and part it out, and it's like, did you just really spend that much money? Yeah. And then they're gonna go build the next hot commodity. And I think that's mostly the YouTubers that do that, and mostly the people that get you know that type of motivation to do is the people that follow those certain channels. And I've seen that where people buy, especially on YouTube, oh, buy my dream car, and then so you see whatever car it is. Now you got, you gave them their views or whatever they wanted out of it. um and oh, slapping on a turbo, buying wheels for it, coilovers for it. I mean, this is an amount, in a short amount of time, a month, and then all of a sudden 2 months later we're stepping away from that car. Well, what happened? That was your dream build. Oh, different direction. And I see that coming with, I saw that with the Supra. I saw the Type R, and I think we're gonna see that with the Datsun that's gonna come out, and that really just kills it for a lot of people who actually really legitimate want those cars. The Type R, like, yeah, um, um, they create a negative stigma about it sometimes, or they do stupidity on those cars, and then they assume that, oh, now whoever drives the car, they're gonna act the same way. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't believe in going broke for anybody. Anybody. I got my priorities, and again, my priorities doesn't mean that they have to be your priorities, but I just often see. And I even had a conversation today with the guy that I interviewed today, Pablo, on his Protege 5 wagon. And he was honest. He said, it became an issue when I was building cars. It became a true problem that I had to step away from it. And I was like, whoa, like that, to that level, um, for something to become a big issue. That's kind of crazy. But a lot of us do it, and so I think once you wake up and you start realizing the mistakes you've done in the past, um, what is it? They say that it's a lesson if you learn from it. But if you keep doing the same mistake, it's a choice. So yeah, whatever makes you happy, I guess. If it truly makes you happy. Rep wheels in the fire synthetic now. Well, they definitely do resell authentic. Let me tell you that much. I saw some prices on rep wheels, and I was like, that's interesting. I can just save $200 more and buy authentic wheels. But again, going back to whatever works um, on your budget, really, and whatever you want to do with your life. I mean, what maybe the rep wheels offer wheels and specs or wing. Like, I'm not like, wheels for me is different, right? Obviously, but like body kit and things like that, I'm cool with reps. A lot of people don't. They're like, nope, has to be real or nothing, and I don't care. Especially when they crack, and I'm like, it was a rep. It's like, yes. But some people like everything real, like our buddy Hector, who, daily's a spooned out Civic hatch and everything is authentic. Kudos to him, man, but I just couldn't do it. I miss dub shows. I see, like that. I think I was into the dub stuff like when I was really young, but as I got a little older, like I just definitely, um, yeah, I just doesn't do anything for me. But if you like them, go, Anthony. Hopefully they reopen them up soon, and hopefully you can enjoy yourself there because it's pretty dope to see that. Rob has to come out and defend himself. 1991 to 2001. You're that old school? 2000 is still old school, right? I mean, come on, we're in 2021, man. There's gonna be electric cars. Like, 2000 should still be considered old school, in my opinion. But I know everything looks better. 1999 should be old school. 991, 99, 99. Perras Prelude all the way. Nobody wants your Prelude. Nobody wants your Prelude. In 25 years, it been, yeah, that's the directions it seems that we were headed. And man, this is actually a pretty good discussion. I have a Washington talk that I need to edit, and I think that the conversation that I'm going to be discussing there is going to be a little bit random. It's going to be like gentrification. So it's random. It's not super car related, I think. Although I guess you could bring cars into the mix. Tesla's going into poor communities or developing communities, and the visuals and the looks and the silent message that sends. And so in 25 years, the reason why I'm saying that is because that's kind of the world is evolving, right? And so whether you want it to evolve or not, it's still going to move that way, and corporations are going that way. And that's the never ending message. Oh, well, cars are bad for the environment, and that's the reason we're moving more like electric and hybrid and all that good stuff. And I'm very divided in this, to be honest with you guys. I know that I love the internal combustion type of engines. I love that. And I don't care about the speed, because if I care about the speed in Tesla, there's no lag, there's no, my throttle got, it's light, it's battery. I do understand the idea behind taking care of the environment, even when I'm not going to be around. So I definitely do not ignore that. But I definitely, obviously, you guys, us, the people here, we're into cars. Especially, I'm going to take a guess and say that most of us are into gasoline, powered cars. So my biggest concern and my biggest complaint is that yes, cars have a huge impact on the environment, but there's certain companies in certain areas of things that don't even get um, any attention in the media. For instance, fashion and design. I was reading this article and it says that a big chunk of pollution is created by the fashion industries because they're constantly, renovating clothes, and obviously companies and warehouses and things like that. It's constantly moving, and how they're disposing of those extra clothes and things of that nature. That's adding to the pollution. Um, Amazon, there's a reason why you get your stuff in one day because they're constantly just, airplanes are going back and forth, cars, trains, etc., etc. So, I mean, actually a good, that's a very good topic, man. I don't know where I stand. Obviously, I would want my cars of gasoline cars to be on the road forever, but I think it's slowly but surely they're gonna take us out. I hate to say it like that, but um it's difficult, but sadly I think that's how it ends up going. They start going after the people that have the least amount of power, because like I mentioned, you guys, companies left and right, even one flight from New York to Paris, how much is that, attacking the environment, and if anybody's doing anything about it, what are the regulations for them? Obviously we know that we have a lot of regulations for us, the car people, but it's I get both sides, and again, I'm not trying to say that one side is wrong and the other side is not, because I also do care about the environment, and I want, my future generations when I'm not here to be able to enjoy this world. But um, I don't know. That's a difficult topic. That's a good comment though. Daniel, 1991 DH hatch testing water, 60K or trade for a Lambo. Nobody wants your Lambo, man. Nobody wants a Lambo, man. Nobody. Samuel says I'll be dead in 25 years. Shit. The ones that think they're gonna be dead soon, they're gonna want you're gonna outlive us all, man. It's kind of crazy. Dimelo G. Kai, what's up? What's up, legit Puerto Rico? Thank you so much, man, for tuning in. What time is it over there? I think it's what, 2 hours difference or three? Much love. Good chatting with you, my dude. I gotta go hide eggs for my kids. Happy Easter. Be cool. Stay safe. Yeah, man. Stay safe. Have fun tomorrow. Um, yeah, it's a good time whenever you guys come in and just kind of um, you know tune in and ask questions, and we start having these conversations, because they're interesting conversations, man, especially like the fact that um, w- or demographic is hitting hard. It's getting hit hard, man. Even here in Cali, from what I've heard from the smog places, they're making it very difficult for cars to pass, especially older cars. So it's getting harder for us to pass the cars, and then you know I think in 2035, I don't remember, they're hoping that the dealerships don't no longer build cars that require gas. And so, but I think that there's a huge market for that will not go away, because companies are going to fight back and be like, no, you're still going to have the option. I don't know. 1988 to 1995 ish era Hondas are the best. You better say 95 because Jackie's 95. um but nah, yeah. I get it. I think 96, 97 is still pretty cool, like the Honda Accord. But I think 2000 and below will be considered old school for me. 100K for EF hatch stock SF. You know what's funny you say that, but I'm not saying 100K, but I'm saying in the near future it's gonna start shooting up in prices, and it's gonna be quite the the laughter that we're gonna have among EF people, and we're gonna be like, see, you guys weren't too off. Like it's crazy, man. They're getting harder and harder to find, and that sucks. But you know that Integra dude, give me a shout out. No one's gonna follow you, man. Like the people that tune into these videos are a whole bunch of lazy asses that like to talk smack. But yeah, man, what's up, Integra dude? I appreciate it. Stop reading Daniel's comments. I don't know. I'm just trying to, you know, can we live together? Yeah, we can. I would have sent you the link next time I go live. I'll definitely put the link on the comment section. I'm ready to wrap it up right now, but I appreciate you tuning in, Daniel. But yeah, man, next time I'll put the link there on the comment section. I think you just have to create a restream account and then be able to join us. Rob says, I spent a lot of money on my cars in my 20s and slowed down in 30s. Now that I don't spend any money on my cars in my 40s, just basic maintenance. Well, I mean, you went in and did you dove into the freaking pool, balls out, and bought an M3 E30 when you were super young. Not the smartest decision, in my personal opinion. I'm sure you love the car, and maybe now looking back, you're like, man, I should have kept it. But yeah, now I mean, now you're 40. Now you're just trying to do basic maintenance at one time. You wanted that and you got it, and now you have other priorities, and we go through that. I'm trying to be the opposite way. I've been trying to save, 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 save. So one day, I hope I get to enjoy it like a Porsche or a performance car or an Impala. But I need to have a place where I can put it. Could I go get one right now? Yes, either one of them. To be honest with you guys, a 911 or a 63, 64 Impala, I could have nowhere to put them. So I'm trying to be patient, and that will come. That will come. You just gotta be it comes with time. But yeah, man, I appreciate you always sharing, Rob. But yeah, you should have kept that 830 M3, man. My body. Would go powered cars, would gas powered cars registration increase once California goes full electric? Shit, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm assuming yes. I mean, just to kind of punish us for driving those cars. Yeah, I mean and that's how change happens, and kind of I'll go ahead and discuss on the Washington Talk for gentrification. Those are the little fines that you do to small businesses in that area, and then eventually they're like, okay, we're leaving, and then somebody else comes and buys the property, and they put a coffee shop instead of the old, I don't know, nail salon that was there. And then you start kind of up doing that, rinse and repeat for the whole community, and that's how gentrification happens. In this case, that's how gas powered cars may go out of style, because you're like, I'm paying double just to maintain this gas car. Well, if you're a car enthusiast, you're gonna want to do that, and you're gonna be bitching, complaining, but you're still gonna do that. But if you're you know normal person driving a car, they're gonna be like, I'm just gonna go buy a hybrid, whatever, like that's it, or electric, and that's it. I don't have to pay more, and that's it. And that's how less and less cars ban plastic, not gas cars. Exactly. There's a lot regulations that are not going towards them, or I guess lack of regulation, and sadly that's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening, man. They're really pushing towards the cars. Electric conversion kits, Honda Garage. I'd say a pretty good comment, and something to think about, because you got Rywire, and you got Bisimoto with the Porsches, and then Rywire with the Hondas. Honda S2000. They're going electric. They know, like, we're gonna, B18 turbos was cool at one point, right? Now let's move to the electric world, because that's what's gonna give us financial stability and allows us to maintain that old chassis look with the electric part of it. And so, yeah, that's gonna be something huge. And I know Rywire's been working on his S2000. And Bisimoto obviously has, continued to work on the Porsches, the air cooled Porsches, and adding their little flavors to them. But yeah, I think definitely that's going to be one of the things that they're going to be focusing on the most, to try to tackle this issue, or this thing of moving more electric. And it's crazy. It's crazy, but you know You gotta kind of go with the punches. All right, the last two questions. That Integra Dude says California is hard to own modded cars. It is extremely hard to own modded cars. It's very hard. From what I keep hearing back in the 80s and 90s, this was the golden place to be. Obviously, weather, culture, cars, and then as laws started passing, people kind of just said, "No way, man! I can't afford to get busted, get ref, get my car crushed." At one point, they were crushing the cars. They weren't even letting you, fix whatever was wrong or letting you take it out from the impound. And so, um, it definitely has taken a toll on the car community here. They're still very strong, as you guys can see, but yeah, it's extremely hard. And then when you hear things like, Washington, Texas, and Florida, if it has four wheels and it kind of moves, it'll get registered. It's disappointing, but they're still trying to go um, the best way possible to get around all that, and hopes that you know people continue to do that, and hopefully they don't give up, because it's very definitely demotivating when something like that happens. You get ref, and it's like, there goes my heart. And sometimes for a lot of people, it's not even about the money. It's just about the emotional attachment they have with the car. It's like, damn, man, so many years, so many memories, and now my car's getting refed. Or now a big thing that has been happening from a few enthusiasts is that the smog place where they used to get their smogs got busted, and they're going through all the records wanting a state ref from that car. And so now people that technically didn't get busted for it, now they're getting a letter saying you got to go state ref. Well, if your car's completely swapped, then what do you do? Um, and that's crazy, so that's one of the reasons why I know I didn't want to go H22. Not on Jackie. I would do it on the red car. I would do it in some other car, but the reason not on Jackie, I have too much emotional attachment to it. It's not the money part, guys. It really isn't. You guys know that. It's just the emotional attachment. I mean, I've been with my wife for 11 years now. Freaking crazy to say. And that's a car that we met in, and that's a car that has taken us to a whole bunch of different places. And so to just, oh, because I want an extra freaking 50 horsepower, honestly, that's what it comes down to. Like, stupid, it's just so, oh, the engine bay looks nice. It doesn't matter. um then my car gets stay ref or something like that, and I have to crush it. Like, that is devastating. Would I get over it? Of course I would get over it, but I wouldn't want that for that car. And so I'm okay. It gets great gas mileage. But if I was to do it, I would do it in some other car where the emotional attachment is not. I didn't put as much emotional attachment the way I did to stupid, Jackie. But then I'll probably do it there, and that would be that. You know. And the last thing. Oh wait, two more, because there's easy solution. Leave Cali. Nah, Rob. Like I said, I mentioned you in the past, man, and we've had DMs back and forth. There's a lot of things that Cali has provided for me, and will continue to provide, that I can't get somewhere else. And for that, I'm always going to be thankful. And you wouldn't understand. And I don't think nobody would ever understand unless you were to be put in my same shoes. And once you walk my same shoes and you get in a position that I was in, and you grow up in the same situation that I am, that's the only time you're going to be able to understand it, truly understand it, why California means so much to me. But it doesn't mean that I'm gonna stay here forever, right? If it ever comes a time that I'm ready to graduate from California, I'm gonna go somewhere else, I'll definitely do it. That's not a question. But for now, I absolutely uh, I'm in love with Cali. Let's leave it at that. And then last was that cup from El Gallo Hiro. Yes, actually that's how I started the live session. I'm not sponsored by them. We had some badass tacos today though, which is not good for my weight. But we're gonna leave it on that last comment, because King Taco from LA is not better than Gallo Hiro. I said it. Fight me. You don't believe me? Yep, the one on Bristol. Yep, Santana, Goro, Gallo Hiro. Get some tacos de fritanga, some tortas cubanas, agua de mamey, or strawberry with lemonade or something like that. Oh, yeah. Thank me later. But yeah, Gallo Hiro. So, lastly, what's to come? I got to edit the wash and talk for my that I washed Lucy, my wife's car, and I think we're gonna the discussion. There's gonna be gentrification. I know, super random, but I like talking about things like that. And then tomorrow I'll be swapping in the suspension for both cars, and then that video will be out somewhere throughout the week. And then the next interview that we have is an EK with pristine engine bay and K series EK hatch Midori green. So definitely you guys are gonna enjoy that. And what else? There was something else. I can't remember. Kakuju's is a bomb. Kakuju's is expensive, and I've had bad service there multiple times, but it's pretty good. As always, we go for the carrito. Yeah, we stay for the person. Thank you guys so much. I really thank you guys. Thank you, freaking thank you, especially on a Saturday, man. Thank you. We're a whole bunch of old people. Love you guys, man. You guys be safe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. Peace out.